Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. So, welcome to Northeast AI Talks Session 1. This is a series by MWire Labs focused on AI conversations in the Northeast region. I'm Emmi and I'll be your moderator for today. So, we will begin with our first speaker, Dr. Chelmelyne Dhar, Associate Professor, School of Languages and Cultural Communication at Martin Luther Christian University, Shillong. She will be speaking on the topic Ktien, a basic sketch. I'll now hand over the session to her.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you. I just want to know the background of the participants here since there's very few. So I think we can go for an introduction round after me. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Chelmelyne Dhar, and yes, like Emmi has introduced me, I have been working in a MLCU in the School of Languages and Cultural Communication for the past 12 years. So, yes, I live in Shillong and I am both a Pnar and a Khasi because my mom is Pnar and my dad is Khasi. So, my original village or the place I came from was is Wajer. I still have my maternal house there, and we used to visit sometimes. And yes, we hi Sir Julian. I just saw his name. Hi Sir Julian, how are you? So yes. When Emmy approached me with this, I was a bit skeptical because I don't know, because I didn't know what are the expectations. I didn't know what are the expectations, what are the background of the participants. So maybe we can have a round of introduction, maybe just your name and a bit about your background. Are you a linguist or a non-linguist? Because my presentation will be based on a bit of linguistic aspects, which is a bit technical, but I have tried to make it as simple as possible. So, yeah, maybe let's have a round of an introduction, please. Start with you, Emmy.
Okay, so ma'am, as you know, I'm currently pursuing my master's in business administration. So I'm a non-linguist, just to answer your question.
Okay. Next.
Walmachi, what about you? Are you a non-linguist or a linguist?
Um, my name is Walmachi. My name is Walmachi Jimomen,
Okay.
and I am not from linguistic background. I did my master in finance,
Okay.
and I'm working with Amy. Like I'm a co-host here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm from William Nagar.
You're from?
William Nagar.
Ah, okay, okay. Okay. Next.
Hi, Dr. Chel.
Hi, how are you? So nice to see
I'm
you
fine,
here.
thank you. Yes. One of the reason that I joined this webinar is because
Because
I
of
see that
me.
you are one resource person.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Julian Oscar Dhar. I used to be with MSU before. I worked there for 17 years. I'm now working as a deputy registrar here at MIT University in Umrah, Maukasiang. Quite keen to join this kind of webinar is because as a university, we're also moving aggressively to AI implementation across both academic, non-academic at the university. So we're all new. I'm new to all this, so I'm open to any kind of learning that we can absorb as far as AI implementation at any level. So I'm non-linguist. I'm looking forward to learn a lot from this seminar today.
Okay. Next.
Fita, can we have a round of introduction from your end?
Hello, I'm Fida. I'm currently a CS undergrad. Would love exploring AI in my fields and all.
Okay. Yes. Do we have any more?
Ramsan, can we have a round of introduction from you? Just a short introduction. What about you, Rebecca? Can we have an introduction from you?
Okay, I think they may have some connection issues, or maybe they have some other issues. So maybe let's just proceed with the presentation. And I would like to go slow because I do believe that this is a very new thing to you, and I want to go slow. So before we start with the presentation, I would like to say that I will switch off my video because I don't think the Wi-Fi here supports both audio and audio. So shall we start if there's no more introduction?
Yes, ma'am. I think we can start now.
Okay, so let's start. Yes, as you have seen on the slides on the screen, Ktien-Pnar, a basic sketch. So what does it mean by Ktien-Pnar? Ktien-Pnar means the language itself, Pnar language. Okay, so yes, let's go to the next slide. This is a very basic sketch of Pnar as a language. It's very basic. I've tried so hard to make this simple because I know that if I make it too technical, it'll be too difficult for you to understand. So let's go to the next slide. So my objectives. So as you have seen in the first slide, you have seen the picture of welcome to Jaintia Hills. That's the threshold. That's the doorway, and that's the entry to Jaintia Hills district. It's somewhere between Puriang and before reaching Mokandur. So whenever you come to Jaintia Hills, this is the threshold of Jaintia Hills. So all the pictures used here are taken from either Shutterstock or from other sources from the internet. So the second slide is the objectives. So first thing is to overview Pnar as an Austro-Asiatic language, to identify the phonological features of Pnar, and to classify the sound pattern in Pnar. So I think the most basic understanding or the basic concept that we need to understand and to know here is before we go any further in linguistics or in any kind of research studies in linguistics, these are the things that we need to go through first and foremost. So I'm starting from the very start and the very basic concept of this study. So yes, the next one, the second one is a picture of the waterfall. It's the Pepe waterfalls in Giant Hills. And the next picture is the monoliths in Natyam. So yes, the content of this presentation will be an overview of Pnar as a language. The next one is the structure of Pnar language. So under this, we have phonology at a glance, and again, syllable structure, which will cover the study of the sound patterns of Pnar as a language. So, am I audible? I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. So next one is this is a representation of Meghalaya. You look at the map of India, okay, at the Indian map, and you see that small dot, that's Meghalaya. So when you look at the second picture below, you will see the a bigger picture of Meghalaya, okay, a bigger map where you can see the section of Giant Hills district, which is on the far left of, I mean, far right of the table. Yes, so next one is again a clear picture of Giant Hills district. So Giant Hills district is surrounded by Assam on the north, Arunachal on the east, and on the south it's Bangladesh. So for this study, I would like to consider the standard Pnar, which is spoken in Jowai. So, why do I say standard pronoun? Because it is widely used, and now it is also used in in any official records or documentation. But not much work, not much documentation has been done on Pnar, except for folk tales of the oral tradition. So yes, the language or the variety that I want to consider here is the Jowai variety, which is a standard variety of. Otherwise, we have so many other varieties, and these varieties, varies. They have variants. They have changes in sounds, in the consonants and the vowel sounds from one variety to another. When I say variety, it means Jowai variety. Then it means a Mukla variety. It means Wayajer variety. It means Mansngat variety. These are all different Pnar villages which uses Pnar as a language, but which is different from Jowai Pnar. Okay, so yes, next one. Overview of Meghalaya. So as you have seen, we have three indigenous tribes in Meghalaya: the Khasi, the Jaintia, and the Garos. So as you have known, Khasi yes, Meghalaya follows the matrilineal structure and system distinct from the patriarchal societies that surround them. Okay, so they find a way to be unique amidst the other societies, the other structures that surrounds them. So Pnar is spoken by the people inhabiting the giant hills. So if you can see the picture, the first picture is of a Pnar couple, the second is of the Khasi couple, and the third is of the Garo couple. These represent Meghalaya. All these three indigenous tribes represent Meghalaya. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so introduction to Pnar. So in terms of language, in terms of linguistics, Dhar is an Austroasiatic language of the Khasic branch, spoken primarily in Meghalaya, India, and parts of Bangladesh. Its endonym, Ktien reflects a distinct identity within the Khasi-Pnar continuum. So, to put it simply, I would say that Pnar is an Austroasiatic language of the Khasic branch. You will see the genetic classification later of how Pnar was grouped under which group under the family branch. So, Pnar is spoken in Meghalaya, India, as you know, and also parts of Bangladesh. So, a small section in Bangladesh, which is closer to Dauki area, we have Pnar people speaks the War variety of Pnar, and these people have been living there since time immemorial. So yes, uh, like I said, it the Ktien reflects a distinct identity within the Khasi-Pnar continuum. Continuum means the continuity of mutual intelligibility between these two languages, between not two languages. Actually, Pnar is under Hasian group of languages. So, Khasi and Pnar is a variety of Khasi language. And yes, when we think about dialect continuum, we can say that Khasi and Panar, they have a very low mutual intelligibility. Okay, some people who are good at languages, who are polyglots, we can say, they can pick up the language easily than the others. But there are some people who could not understand, who could not pick up. So not just anyone can pick up the language. So this will be both for Khasi speakers as well as Bhanar. Some Bhanar people do not even understand Khasi language. So, and vice versa. That's why this dialect continuum, which means like village A is connected to village B. So like if we talk about Shillong here, so we have light core. So after Shillong, we have light core, then we have Maulagat, then we have Umpernai, then we have this big village Sorakham, then we have Maurangkening, then we have Puriang, then we have Okandur, we have Umulang. So I think from here, from Shillong uh, to Sorakham, even Maurangkening, even Puriang, they use Khasi as their language. But then again, these people understand each other because, like Sorunkham is a place where it's like a border. Sorunkham Mountain is like a border to Giant Hills. So people come and go. They practice trade with each other. They could understand the language. So there is a continuity. There is a continuum from these languages from one to another on how we understand Khasi, because in Mauritania there's a mixture of people who speak Khasi, who speaks Khasi very fluently. So from then on, we have Puriang, which is also a mix of Khasi and Pnar, and then we have the pure Pnar village. But then these pure Pnar village, when they come in contact with Puriang and with Maurankaneng, they could understand each other because the people in Maurankaneng and Puriang, they could talk and they could understand so well. So that's the reason why there is this dialect continuum that continues the language and we can understand each other. Okay, right from the standard Khasi that is spoken to Shillong till the pure Pnar that is used in the Pnar villages. Right? So, yes, the family Pnar belongs to Austroasiatic Khasic branch. And the names, the Pnar language has so many names. Some call them Jaintia, some call them Pnar, some call Pnar people something, and some call them Pnar. Okay, so let's go and have a look at what does this mean. So next slide. So again, Pnar is an Austroasiatic language. It falls under the Mon Khmer group, a branch of Austroasiatic language family. It is also known as Jaintia, Pnar, and Sinteng. Grayson, 1928, termed it as Sinteng, and Spencer, 1967, termed it as Jaintia, which are not acceptable to those who prefer to call themselves Pnar. And Ehrenfels in 1953 states that Sinteng is slightly opprobrious. She has used a very strong word here, okay, designation used by the Plateau Khasi and Prar meaning dwellers of the upper hills, which is referred by the group itself. According to Barrère, 1977, Teng means children of the Teng or ancient mother. Jaintia probably being the Indic speaker's pronunciation of it. Pakem 1984 opines that Senteng is derived from Suteng or Sutanga, the ruling dynasty of the Jaintias, or possibly from Somanting, a village of the old pre-British rule. So the term Jaintia, we can conclude that the term Jaintia is used to refer to the land and Panar is used to refer to the people. There's so many statements on this, okay, but I have chosen only a few of these. But as a Panar speaker or as a Panar native speaker who lives in both Khasi and Panar area, I would say that we, the Panars, we prefer to call ourselves Pnar, not Jaintia or not Sinteng. So as you have seen here, Sinteng is a term that is referred to us by the Khasi speaking people. So here we can conclude that the term Jaintia is used to refer to the land and Pnar is used to refer to the people. So next, history and origin. There's so many theories, okay, on the history and origin of Pnar. But then we cannot verify that the authenticity, or we don't have the evidence, okay, as to decide where do we come from and what was our origin. But anyway, I have chosen a few here, okay, like Langste 2004. He provides evidence for a westward migration from Southeast Asia to the current location. So some of the theories suggested that we came from Southeast Asia. Some of the theories suggested that we came from, that the Jaintia kingdom already existed here before the 1500s ADs. And some of the theories suggested that we belong to the Mongoloids, family group, and some of the theories suggested that we came from Cambodia. So why this theory came up, or why this specific theory came up that we came from Cambodia? Because Cambodia, the people who speaks this Khmer language in Cambodia, okay, this also belongs to Austro-Asiatic family, just like Pnar. So the closest linguistic relative with Khmer of Cambodia is us. And we both came from the same common AA ancestors. But oral tradition stated that, Khasi descended from the seven huts. So there's this Khasi mythology, okay, that our ancestors of the Khasi and the Jaintias descended from the seven huts. And these are the first people to first live on earth. So seven huts, and we use a word in Khasi, okay? Nyau trep, nyau skum. So nyau means seven, trep is hut, skum is descendants. So yes, we are here, no matter where we came from, we are here, we live in harmony, and we are thriving, and we hope to thrive for many more years too. Next, let's have a look at the genetic classification by Deflots 2005. So there's so many writers and so many renowned linguists which genetically classified Pnar and Khasi language, but I have just taken Deflot's one. So Deflot, he uses the term Khasian. Khasian is a term for Khasi speakers, for Pnar speakers, for War speakers. These actually, Khasian is a term, is an umbrella in which the Sora Khasi, the standard Khasi, the Pnar variety, the War variety is grouped under this Khasian branch. So if you see Austro-Asiatic, we have Munda and we have the Mon Khmer and we have the Khasi-Khmuic. So Defloth has categorized Khasian under Khasi-Khmuic, okay? And from Khasian, we have the standard Khasi, we have War, we have Pnar. So next, geographic distribution of the language. Primarily, it is spoken in East and West Jaintia Hills. Secondarily, it's spoken in parts of West Khasi Hills. Well, this is debatable because we don't know how many percentage of Pnar people speaks Pnar in West Khasi Hills, because West Khasi Hills is dominated by a variety of the Khasi. And yes, we also have a section of the Pnar speakers living in Assam, especially in Hablong area. There are a few Pnar speakers and small pockets in Bangladesh. So, like I've mentioned earlier, in Bangladesh we also have a section closer to Dauki, where these Pnar people who speaks the War variety is living there since time immemorial. So, with approximately 4 lakh speakers as of 2025, it serves as the most widely spoken language in the Giant Hills region and is closely related to Khasi. Okay, any question till there? I'm too fast also, please stop me. Or should I go ahead?
No, you're fine, Chel. Please go ahead. It's very interesting to learn about Pnar. I myself, I'm a Pnar, but due to
Yes.
lost touch of contact with, with my village from Nangba, and I don't know the language, I don't know the history about Pnar. So this is very valuable to me. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's go to the chunk in this presentation, which is linguistic, okay, which has linguistic aspects in it. So first thing first is the word order in Pnar. So at the syntactic level, the basic word order is SVO. What does it mean by SVO? It means subject, verb, and object. Okay. So if you see example 1, I'm using all of the symbols from the IPA chart. This IPA chart is a chart of the world's speech sounds. Okay, I'll show you later. I have it. I'll show you later. So this example 1, if you can see, kakna dabam ko yoso. Okay, that's in Pnar. So the girl ate the fruit. Okay, so the girl is the subject, ate is the verb, and the fruit is the object. So that's why it's called an SVO word order. If you look at the second example also, e ko ka ya John, ya Jim. So she gave the water to Jim. So, but what is the difference between these two examples? That one is monotransitive and the second one is ditransitive. Monotransitive means that a sentence which needs only one direct object to complete the sentence. And the second sentence is ditransitive, which means that a sentence can have one direct object and one indirect object. But anyhow, the word order in Pnar is SVO. So any deviation, any interchanging, any variation from this is for some specific reasons. Okay, it could be for semantic change. Semantic change means change in the meanings, or for better understanding of the topic or focus. Because sometimes we use interchangeably, even in Pnar, we say nga dalayao, I go to the market. But also we just say layao. Okay, this is just to express for better understanding and to simplify the speech. But the word order as per the linguistic representation is SVO. Okay, some people termed it as VSO, VOS, but in fact, the basic word order is SVO. We can use those VSO, VOS word order as well, but remember that it's for a semantic change. Okay, it's for better understanding of the topic or the focus. Then next we have yes, phonology at a glance. So phonology, what is phonology? Phonology is the study of speech sounds. So in linguistics, we don't use alphabets and we don't use letters. So we have alphabets like A, B, C till Z, right? But then we don't use them. We don't call them alphabets and we don't call them letters. In linguistics, we used to call them as sounds. So Pnar phonology or Pnar consonants, we have 33 consonant sounds. Okay, I mean, yeah, 33 consonant sounds. 14 stops. We have 33 sounds, sorry, not consonant sound. There's an error there. We have 24 consonant sounds. So that 33 stands for vowel as well. So 24 consonant sounds. We have 14 stops. We have 2 fricatives, 4 nasals, 1 lateral, 1 flap, 2 glides. I understand this is very technical, but we have to go through this. Otherwise, we will not understand what a speech sound is and how are these sounds described and defined. It depends on the manner and the place of articulation. I'll show you in the table so that you'll understand. Then we have the syllable structure. Under the syllable structure, we have, oh no, let me go to the vowel sounds first. We have 8 vowels, we have 7 monophthongs and 1 diphthong. Syllable structure, we have monosyllables, disyllables, trisyllables, and polysyllables. So let's go to the next slide to have a better understanding. So this is the consonant chart of Khasi-Pnar. So if you look at the chart, you can see the vertical points, I would say. These are called plosive, fricative, nasal, lateral, flap, semi-vowel glides. These are all, what do you call them? Manner of articulation. Okay? No, place of articulation. Then bilabial alveolar on that horizontal representation is the manner of articulation. So the description of any speech sound is based on these two parameters, the manners and the place of articulation. So like plosive, when we say place of articulation, it means place of articulation in the mouth. So if we take the sound per, okay, who are the articulators of per? It's these two lips, okay? That's why it's called bilabial, all right? But its manner, okay, it is used to produce in a sudden manner, per. So sudden stop, that's why we call it a stop, okay? We call it a plosive or we call it a stop. And in manner, in the place of articulation, these two lips came into contact one another, okay? And that's why they are called bilabial sounds, okay? So if we go by the description, we will not finish this topic, for the whole day. So I'll not go through that, just to get the concepts clear. The horizontal representation is the manner of articulation, and the place of articulation, and the horizontal representation represents the place of articulation. It is the 2 point of contact whenever you produce these sounds, right? So b. But there is a difference between b and b. B is a voiceless sound and b is a voice sound. So how do you determine the phonation or the voicing? Okay, why one is voiceless and why one is voice? B is voiceless because there is no vibration in your vocal cord. So if you hold your if you put a finger at your neck, okay, at the Adam's apple, you will feel the vibration when you produce the sound b, b. More vibration will be there rather than the sound p. Okay. So we have p, which is voiceless, b, which is voice, p and bh. These are called aspirated sounds. So we have these sounds in Khasi-Pnar. Okay, we have lots of them. They can occur in words with at the initial position, in the middle position, and the final position. And we have the alveolar sound. Okay, alveolar is when you say da. So the blade of your tongue, okay, touches the alveolar ridge. This alveolar ridge is the hard, is the roof. It's there at the roof of the mouth, okay, and it's a hard section which is opposite to the blade of the mouth. Okay, so again, th is an aspirated version of the voice and the voice version of the. Then we have ch. We have a lot of ch in Khasi. So, my friends used to joke and tell me whenever Pnar people meet, we love a language. We would always converse in Pnar. So those of them who do not understand, you would just say, "Oh, these smart people are talking." We couldn't understand the language, but we could hear so many cha 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 cha. Okay, it's because this sound is very very prominent in Pnar, right? Then we have ja, we have jha, we have ka, we have ka. Okay, so palatal again is that the roof of the mouth, which is very hard. Okay, which is after the alveolar ridge. And the velar, when you say the, you would feel that the back of your tongue raises up to the soft palate. We would say soft palate right after the hard palate. That is called velar sound. Okay. Then glottal sound is a sound which is produced in the glottis. So the glottis is somewhere around the Adam's apple area. Is okay. It's there in the vocal cord, and it's very prominent again in Pnar. So in the words like dog for meat, and saw for fruit. Okay, so the o part, the last part is this sound, is the glottal sound. Then we have the fricative sir and her. We have the nasal. Why nasal? Because we produce these sounds using both the nasal cavity and the oral cavity to produce these sounds. So half of the air went through the nasal cavity and half of the air went through the oral cavity. So that's why when I say m or n, ng, you will feel that half of the air is you know is passed through the nasal cavity and half through the oral cavity. And we have the lateral lateral then we have flabra, not r. If we say r, then it's a what do you call that? This is a flap, okay, not a trill. A trill r is the one like in English, red, where you really have to tap your tongue many times. Okay, but flap is somewhere like surrounded or year. Okay, that's the flap sound. Now, wa and year are considered as a semi-vowel or the glides in a sentence. We don't call them W and J here, they are wa here. So we have babha, tatha, dadha, cha, jha, ka, kha, o, sa, ha, ma, na, nya, nga, la, ra, wa, ya. So these are the consonants that are there in Pnar language. Now, next, we have the vowel chart in Pnar. We have E. This is the picture of a tongue. Okay, so the tip of the tongue, where the E is kept, it is the tip of the tongue. So just imagine that this is your tongue. So E is produced. E is the highest. Okay, it is kept at the highest point of the chart because it is the highest vowel. It is the highest vowel that represent in Pnar language, right? So E, then we have central E in the words like kna, pnro. Okay, then we have A, we have O, we have E, we have O, and A. These are the vowel sounds that we have in Pnar. Okay, so again, to describe these, it depends on the height of the tongue. It depends on the voicing also. And yes, it depends on the back and the front of the tongue. So if you say E and U, there is a big difference. There is a big difference because why? When you say E, the body of your tongue touches or it came forward, it moved forward to the front of the mouth. Whereas if you say oo, you could feel that there is tension at the back of the tongue. Okay, that's why the oo, o, and o are called back vowels. E is a central vowel, okay, because when you produce this E, the central vowel E, which is in the middle, all right, your tongue does not go up or down. It's static. It's placed at the center of the mouth. And if you say you will understand and you will feel the height of the tongue. So if you say there is a drop. There is a drop, level by level. So that's how we describe the vowel in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vowels in. And we have one diphthong. This diphthong is iya. I have not kept it here. This diphthong is called iya. Okay, so it's a combination of e and a. All right, the highest e and a. Why is it called a diphthong? Because a diphthong is a sound which it's not a vowel sequence. They are sounds occurring together. Okay, when in which the first sound, when you pronounce it, it glides smoothly to the second sound. So, like in the word kia, priya, okay, there is smooth glide from e to a. So that's the only diphthong we have in Panar. Okay. So the next one is yes, consonant cluster. Okay, so I've taken this from Bare. He was one of my teachers in Nehu, but suddenly, unfortunately, he passed away. I think some 6 to 7 years ago. So I've taken this excerpts from his work. So according to Bare, 2014, consonant clusters are one of the most striking features of Panar. There is an astonishing richness in its words' initial clustering possibilities. You will understand when I show you the examples. This great variety of initial clustering patterns is a typological feature of other Mon Khmer languages also. Phonemically, there is a very rich system of initial consonant combination. So this is, I would say this is a rule, okay? This is a rule, and whether these rules are permissible or not, it depends on the structure of and it depends on the features of a language. So when we say the initial clustering patterns, it means that the permissible combination or the permissible occurrence of these sounds, okay, in a word. So let's go to the example so that you will have a better idea. So the first one is, I have taken only one example for each. Otherwise, there's so many examples for these consonant cluster combination. Oh yeah, consonant clusters. We call them consonant clusters. Consonant clusters are the permissible consonant combination at the initial word position. Okay. So first thing we have is aspirated stop plus stop. So aspirated is the one which has the her, okay, as a superscript representation. Stop is that plosive, remember? So when you have the word chba, sorry, I have not transcribed this into linguistic phonetic alphabet because otherwise you will be confused. So I've just kept them like this orthographically. So aspirated stop and stop. So aspirated is ch, okay? Stop is ba and a, which is chba. So if you can see, we have two consonants there, the ch and ba. So ch is considered to be just one sound, okay? And ba is another sound. So ch and ba are permissible to occur in a language. This is too light, okay? Then the second example is the aspirated stop again plus nasal. Nasal is the nya here. Oh no, it's the ng. So the first word, which is per, okay? Per is an aspirated, it is one sound. Per is one sound, then nya, then ya, and then ng. The last one, ng, has to be a ng. It's considered only one sound again. So pnyang is oil, okay? Then Krong is to beg. Then stop plus stop, which means ta is a stop, ba is also a stop. Okay, so tibian, which means short, stop and aspirated, which is pa is a stop, th is an aspirated sound in the word tho, which is brown. Okay, so a stop again with an f with a fricative. Fricative are sounds which when produced, okay, they cause audible friction and they take their time in producing the sound. Okay, so fricative sa. So we say sa. Okay, that's how we pronounce sa. It is a fricative. Why? Because there is obstruction in the mouth. So pa sa wa. It's psaw. It's to bury under ashes. Then the stop and nasal. Okay, teman, which is beard. And fricative stop. Fricative and stop. Sbo, which is mania. Fricative plus nasal, sana, okay, which is nam. Nasal plus liquid, which is na and ra, okay. 6, nru. And the last one is liquid plus stop. Liquid is ra, liquid is called, is termed as, ra is termed as a liquid. Ra, ba, na, ribbon, which is thick. Okay, so these are the permissible occurrence that is allowed, or that is key feature of the Pnar language. See, our language is so rich. We have not just these, we have many more, but then I did not add all of them because there's too much of them. So next one is 3 places combination. The first one is 2 place combination, and the next one is 3 place combination. So just excuse me just a little while. I just drink my water. Okay. Yes, 3 places combination. So we have perhau, okay, which is windy season. We have perlung, which is eyeball. We have terkhang, which is fern. We have perkhat. So these 3 places combination, all consonants. If you see consonants, pa is a consonant, ra is a consonant, ha is a consonant. So C, 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 V, C. Okay. So there's 3 places combination. This is also allowed. Okay. This is also allowed. This is also allowed to occur in Pnar language. So perhau, perlung, terkhang, perkhat, perchang, kerchut, lengkor, lenter, terma. Okay, which means perlung is eyeball, terkhang is fern, perkhat is to think, perchang is try, kerchut is to brush, lengkor plow, lenter breath, terma is to dream. So all of these I have referred from mostly from Curiously Barre 2014 published PhD thesis, and also from an American scholar named Hiram Ring. So he has done quite an extensive and a comprehensive study on the grammar of Pnar. If you are interested, you can check it out online. His name is Hiram Ring. Okay, so I have referred all of these works from Curious Barre as well as Hiram Ring. Okay, so the next one is the syllable structure. Okay, so Pnar exhibit 3 syllable structure, which is monosyllables, disyllable, and polysyllables or trisyllables. Okay, so monosyllables, just as the name suggests, okay, mono means 1, di means 2. So polysyllables means more than 2. Okay, trisyllables is 3 syllable words, whereas polysyllables could be more than 3 syllabic words. Okay, so let's look at the example of the monosyllabic words. The first one is just V, okay, which is A. A is give. So the second one is VC, at. It's not at, English at, it's at, swollen. Then R2. Then CV structure of monosyllabic word, ka, she, ki, de. Then we have CVV, which is tia, much closer, and jia, hot as in chili hot. So jia means, this is an aspirated sound of ja. Okay, so the her there is ja, her is an aspirated sound of ja. It's ja. It's considered one sound. So CCV, pra, to disperse, and pra, again aspirated sound, which means 8. So CCVV, which is priya, hail, and thlia, to bother. Then another structure in under monosyllables, we have CVC, sun, 5. We have yam, to weep. We have CVVC, tia, sleep. We have pia, broken. We have CCVC, scum. There we have the long R, which is rice husk. And we have clow, which is peacock. Then we have another structure. We have CCVVC, which is plea, smooth talker, and Sdia, the youngest child. I don't know whether this makes sense to you or not. Am I still audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. I don't know whether this makes sense or not. Okay, so kindly tell me to stop if you do not understand anything, because I'm telling you this is very, very technical. So I think for a non-linguist, this is very, very basic things to learn about linguistics. That's why I'm presenting all of these. Okay, but later on, if you have any clarifications to make, then you can always tell me. So syllable pattern for disyllabic words. Disyllabic words means two words. Okay, two syllables in a word. Okay, so we have the CV. Okay, so CV, it means payu. Okay, so payu, so we have CV, payu, which means sibling, CVV, chutia, which is funny. Then we have a structure CCV, which is parom. Sorry, I made a mistake there. CVC. CVC. It is story. Then we have Saktham, which is CCVC, which is a bitter fruit or vegetable. Then we have CV, CVC as a first syllable and CV as a second syllable, which is a flower. Then we have CVC and CVV, which is again Virtya, which is a miser, Virtya in Khasi. Then we have CVC, which is Tumpong, again, which is waste. Then we have another structure, which is CVVC, which is Mercia, okay, which is a box. So these are the syllable patterns for disyllabic words. Now, next, we have syllable pattern for trisyllabic words. Okay, we have syllable patterns for trisyllabic words. Trisyllabic words means 3 syllables in a word. La, wa, kor. So la is the first syllable, wa is the second syllable, and kor is the third syllable. So CVC. This is a wooden ball playing during wedding club festival. And Raman Ken, we have the juice harp. Okay, we call it Raman Ken. CVC, and CVC. Then we have Nyang Terkap, which is CVC, and CVC, which is stick. So remember all of these KH, JH, VH, TH, all of these are aspirated sound, which are considered as one sound only. So in terms of polysyllabic words, I found only one word, okay, and I have not verified it with any of the speakers because I myself have not heard that word. That's why I did not keep it here. But there are polysyllabic words as well. Okay, but I have not presented that in this presentation. Maybe if you are interested, you can find out on your own. Yes. So I've almost come to the end. All right. So the next slide will show you the Pnar and practice key phrases. You can use these. These are very simple, very simple phrases. It's for everyday use. It's for for our casual conversations every day. Okay, so I have divided them into the types of sentences that we have. So I don't want to bring too much of grammar here because it's not under the purview of this presentation. So yes, so let's see. The first one is hello. In Panar, hey, come on, pay. It's a greeting. Then also thank you. Kublai Chibon. I don't know. Sometimes it's a greeting, sometimes it's an expression of gratitude. And then where are you going? Chewin Lively. This is an interrogative type of sentence. Okay. Let us eat. Tabam noi. This is assertive. Please help me. Snyabhai rap inga. This is imperative. Okay, because it has that request aspect in it. And oh, don't do that. Aring hamle kam tu. This is again imperative. It is an advice. It is raining today. This is a declarative sentence. In Panar, it is slap negasni. And we also have an exclamatory sentence. We want that if you the job in. Okay. So my last slide. Okay, thank you, Kublai and Shihajarho. But before I end my presentation, I would like Emmy to play this song, maybe a few seconds of it, so that the non-Panar friends in this group will, get the hold of, not get the hold of, will get introduced into Panar language. Okay, this is a song of Pak Roja Suchen. He was singing about his village Shampoo. Emmy,
Yes, ma'am.
can you
Is
can
this
you play
from
this?
YouTube?
Yes, YouTube. You can just copy the link and
Okay, sure, ma'am.
okay. Few seconds only, and later you can check out this song on your own from YouTube.
Ma'am, do you want me to play it now, or should I just copy
Yes,
this
you
in the
can play
chat?
for a few seconds only so that our friends here will know that this is the particular song and they can go to it later. They can listen to the full song later. Can you play me?
Just a second, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't think I can play it. Like, I think there's a
Okay,
pause at
okay.
the-
Okay, so our friends here can copy this link and maybe you can listen to this song. Okay, it's a beautiful Pnar song. So
I'll
just
just
listen
copy
to
the
me.
link. I'll just copy paste it in the chat.
Yes, please. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is Pnar. they have formulated these giant alphabets recently. That was in the year 2021, but it is not widely used as of now. Okay, so this is the book that they have published. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Is my camera clear? You can check on YouTube
And
also.
it's blurry.
It's blurry, right?
It's
I don't
blurry.
know
You
why
cannot
is it
see.
blurry.
I think you'll have to just probably. No, it's still blurry. Cannot
Okay,
see.
see, Brad.
Blurry.
Okay,
Yes.
so this book it was I don't know whether it's widely sold or not, but then it has all the alphabets of Pnar, okay, or graphic alphabets in the year 2021. But I don't know, it has not been widely used. It's still blurry. Okay, so the name of the book is Kidak Tho Ne Pure Ktien Pnar. It's the Pnar alphabets. Okay, so by Rikoma Lalu. And before I end my presentation, I would like to say that Panar is not an endangered language. Endangered means it's there is a fear of extinction. Okay, it's not endangered. It's very well spoken in in Giant Hills district. And like I said, we are thriving and we will thrive for many more years. Okay. Once it has been listed in the list of endangered language, but it has been removed because, like I said, Panar, Panar villages, the Panar region is a very monolingual area, okay, where we mostly use our own language for communication. And yes, they have even developed their own alphabets. So you can check out in YouTube, okay, Panar alphabets. They even have rhymes, songs uh, about their alphabets. So thank you so much. And yeah, this is the and I know that it's technical for some of you. It might not make sense, but yeah. If there's anyone who wants to clarify something.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, ma'am. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking up this session. And I think everyone can agree that this session has really highlighted the importance of language and preserving our culture and identity. And ma'am, if you have time for like a few questions.
I have another meeting at 12, but I don't mind one or two questions. Otherwise, I can leave my email. I can leave my email and maybe they can, you can send the questions to my mail. But for now, I have 2 minutes more. So I think we can have a few questions.
Okay, so anyone who has any questions, you can just unmute yourselves or you can just type it in the chat box.
No questions from my side, but thank you so much, Dr. Chel, for taking us through this very important topic and session. I initially thought it's something to do with AI because I saw in the email it came from Northeast AI, MWire.
I
But
understand.
nonetheless, it's a very good learning for me. Learning about, again, we know about Mount Khmer and Munda group, and then basically how we, Panar and Khasi also have evolved from this group. But learning about the language of Pnar somehow is a new dimension for me because, again, like I said, I'm from Pnar, but I'm Pnar, but then I don't know the language. But from what I can see is that I can see the influence of what we call phonetics and consonants formation, alphabet formation is quite different from the Khasi alphabets, which
Yes,
is
yes,
which is something which is very interesting to learn today.
yes, yes.
Yes,
It's very
yes, yes.
interesting.
It's
So,
been very valuable. Yes.
just a few points from what you have said since it's an AI talk. So, I discussed with Badal firstly, and I told him that, I'm not a digital linguistic, I mean, I'm not a digital linguist. So maybe he told me just to run through the basics of Pnar, okay, just for them to understand what are the basics of Pnar. And since we are also moving towards very rigorously towards digital linguistics. So we are moving towards, not moving towards, actually, it's already there. We have NLP, we have these AI, okay? We have these softwares, Elan softwares, Pratt softwares, in which we study the phonetic, which we study the acoustic aspect of the sounds. So we use Elan, we use Pratt software so that it'll give us the correct and the accurate sounds that is there, okay, by using these softwares. So yes, I think for that we need the interns in that was communicated to me before. Okay,
Mm.
they just need to run through the basics of Pnar. So
Yeah,
I
all
think
right.
this will be helpful. This will be helpful for them
Yeah.
in moving towards
Okay.
documenting this
Thank you.
language.
Recently, Khasi and Garo language have been officially received that recognition as a state language in Meghalaya.
Yes.
Hoping that Pnar will also receive such similar recognition in the maybe near future.
In a few years' time, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chel. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sir Julian.
And I would also like to thank ma'am. I'm Dani. I'm the next speaker, and I work in the area of NLP.
Okay.
But having heard this talk, it's amazing to understand. Like I'm not a linguist, but just to get a brief idea about how the sounds of the language are studied is an amazing opportunity for all of us, I will believe. So I would like to take this opportunity as you are leaving to say hi and also to say thank you for sharing this.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Dr. Dhar, for that session. So since you said that you have another meeting, so we will not be keeping you
I have to
anymore.
run. Here we have so many meetings, sometimes 2, 3 in a day. So, well, anyway, it's part of the job. So if you have any question, you can send them to me through email. I'll leave my email with Emmi, and you can send them to me. I'll be happy to answer them anytime. So, Emmi,
Okay,
Raju?
okay, ma'am. Thank you again.
Okay. So, is this it? Thank you so much for all the participants. Okay, even though I haven't, been able to see your face, and I would love to meet you sometime in the future. And Mr. Dani, all the best for your session.
Ah,
Thank you so much. I wish to be there, but then I couldn't because I have another.
yeah, some other time, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you. Can we leave?
Yes, ma'am, you may leave.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Emmi.
Uh,
Can I try sharing the screen?
Hello, Mr. Dani. Yes, can we start now?
Yep.
Okay, yes, you can. Let me just make you co-host.
Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Ah, so can I go ahead?
So can I just give like a brief introduction for our participants?
Sure.
So now we move on to our second session. Mr. Dani Raju. He is a lead researcher at Studio Hasi and he is an alumnus of IIT Bombay. So he will be talking on speech retrieval for an unwritten language. So, okay, sir, I will now hand over the session to you.
Hello everyone. I'm sure we all had a wonderful insights about Pnar language and the phonology of the language. And for me as a HCI researcher, it was all new. I've heard these terms, but ma'am did a wonderful job in explaining what it actually means, and how linguists spend time in understanding the sounds that is produced by a human body. So my research is mostly focused in the area of human-computer interaction. So to give just a brief background about me, I did my master's in interaction design from IIT Bombay, and there we specialize in designing interfaces for use cases which are novel use cases. For example, my research was always in the area of semi-literate, illiterate users, how they can better use computers. So that was my focus in my master thesis. So after finishing my master's from IIT Bombay, I started this organization called Studio Hasi, which is based in Mumbai, with the sole focus of thinking about how to create novel interfaces which could be useful for vast majority of the people around us. We are all in a continuum, like languages, human being, the capabilities of people are also in a continuum. So we may say we are like vast majority of us are literate, but how well a person can use a digital interface is still something like widely distributed on a continuum, right? So that's how I came into the area of speech, because speech is something that we all are, like almost all of us are capable of producing sounds, make meaningful sounds, speak our own mother tongue, speak contact languages, communicate with other human beings, and all development that we see around today are based on our one fundamental ability to communicate with each other. So that's brought me to the research, focus my research on speech. And I was lucky to be part of a team which is based in Swansea University in UK. So as I mentioned, I did my master's at IIT Bombay. During my internship days, few researchers from Swansea University visited IIT Bombay, and I was part of their team during a short internship in Bangalore. And since then, I've been working from India because I wanted to work with Indian communities, and also got this amazing opportunity to work with these lead researchers in my field of human computer interaction. So this is one of the projects that I was involved with them, and it's about how we can empower communities who speak languages mostly which are unwritten. So a bit about the project that I got an opportunity to work with is called Unmute. People can just go to the website unmute.tech and get more idea about what the project is, what the toolkit is all about, and things like that. So it was a around 3.5-4 year European Union funded collaboration with the University of Edinburgh and Swansea University. And as a facilitator, Studio Hasi was involved in the project. Like many facilitators across the globe were involved in this particular project. So the aim of this project was to develop voice speech driven technology support with and for languages and communities that have previously been underserved or overlooked entirely. So to give you a bit of a context, what I'm talking about here is like it's easy to overlook or forget that the vast majority of devices we use for communication every day are massively targeted at text input, designed specifically for a small number of languages. Sometimes these interfaces only support English. In many parts of the world, rather than text, speech is by far the preferred modality for day-to-day digital communication for a wide range of reasons. Literacy also might be one of those factors. But even now, speech interfaces are actually quite poor. For example, this image you can see, is a screenshot replicating how WhatsApp groups often work in speech-first communities, where most participants send and receive voice messages rather than writing. Probably to it. So the some people may not use voice note as much, but we have to see, we are working with these communities. We have seen that voice notes are quite popular, especially in languages without any written script. So these things become more difficult. The interaction with these kind of interfaces become more difficult when the speech is their primary modality. Yeah. Larissa, do you have any questions at this stage, or? Yeah, I think it was a mistake of yeah. So I'll go ahead. So there is tremendous potential for new language technologies to have a positive impact on our world. So the commercially driven ASR systems, like for example the Google, Microsoft, and Apples of this world, do not focus much on low resource languages because there is little financial incentive for them. If they work on languages with a large number of users, at least it makes commercial sense for them to develop language models which can allow people to integrate more into their services. But if the language community is very small, there is not much financial incentive for these big corporates to make language models for such languages. So hence in the NLP community there is a term called low resource. It is from the automatic speech recognition field. What it means is that there is a lack of recorded audio data in comparison to other languages. Some people even say there are zero resource languages because there are languages which are spoken by few, and also it's not written that much, so there is no digital data that is available on that language. So the term that is prevalent in the NLP community is like low resource, zero resource languages when we talk about these kind of languages. So, but in India, the case is different. So sometimes when we say low resource language, sometimes the language might have millions of speakers also. What So what actually tends to be the case is that the language communities that might benefit most from these kind of speech developments, the ASR developments, are bypassed or overlooked. If their languages are included, treated as a data source, a raw material to be exploited, to be taken and used. So there are ethics issues also, like how people collect data to create language models. Also very common for low resource languages that where there are data sets, they don't represent real life language use. Sometimes researchers go into the field for collecting data, and that data sample does not actually reflect how the language is actually used in the day-to-day life. So to give you highlight one of the cases, like in Africa, Google supports 3 languages: Zulu, Afrikaans, and English. But if you see the official languages of South Africa, like there are so many other languages, and there are languages like Xhosa, which is like 16% of the people speaks that language in South Africa. But it's again not supported by large companies because there is not much financial incentive for them to support those languages. So again, these are all discussions which normally connects to post-apartheid and post-colonial South African contemporary histories. So about technology, so state of the art, like these days we have LLMs, we have large language models which are integrated in all kind of services. So here in this figure, it's OpenAI's Whisper, which was trained on 680,000 hours of speech data. So this kind of places the AI as an industry that extract and abstract data away from the material conditions and relationship it has with people and places. So how does a company collect 680,000 hours of speech data? So inherent assumption is that such language data is interchangeable. Like for example, whatever they collect truly represents the language and in all its essence. So training ASR models on big data sets is also very economically costly. So which prevents a lot of organizations outside these big corporates to even try more creating models on this scale. So so again, it gives it drills down to the larger problem of AI as an industry that extracts and abstract data and assumptions like that language data is interchangeable, and how these models are impacting our environment, and the business models around it are all discussions for another day. So coming back to voice messaging patterns that we saw. So most of our initial workshops can kind of convey this idea that voice messaging is prevalent in our in communities. So it is a convenient way to communicate. There is no spelling errors, no question if the recipient will understand it. Voice messaging was seen as a positive and equalizing, and which broadens participation and facilitating communication within the social and family circles. However, it can be tricky keeping up with voice messaging activity in larger groups. Participants often deleted voice messages immediately after sending them, which we later learned was because people wanted to re-record the messages. There is no way of re-listening to a voice message before sending it. No effective way of finding older voice messages. Turning to the voice messaging practices more generally, we believe that the pervasive and inclusive practices surrounding voice messaging that participants reported are understudied, under-designed, and have and not been reported at many research venues. So beyond ASR, like this is what we focus in our initial research. So moving ahead about our community engagements to develop bottom-up technology toolkit. So our approach was to start with the communities ground up to understand the language first, then find with the community, work with the community to think about if there are any potential for such systems in that community. Sometimes some of the interventions we go into a community thinking about technology is the answer to all the problems, but sometimes we realize that it's not. Maybe there are other problems which the community is grappling with, and technology is not the answer. But we again, as researchers, we are focused on thinking about what how the world could be a better place with what we are trying to solve. So collaborating with the community is one of the central aspects to our research. Like we do a bit of ethnographic work, go stay with the community, understand the daily life, understand the language, understand understand their livelihood, and then we think about how data collection needs to be done in collaboration with the community, and how this data can be located in the community. What kind of community license could take this this forward? And these are all think through before we even kind of start our data collection process. Yeah, so the objective of the toolkit that we created. So why toolkit? So we could have we don't, as a academic sponsored project, we don't have that huge amount of money to kind of release a language model saying that this works for all the unwritten languages in India. So we thought the approach of designing toolkits. So toolkits means basically you can create your own language model with the basic technology that we are kind of sharing with the public. So anybody could improve the toolkit, anybody could take data, train models, and use it in their own applications. So it's like an open source model where this toolkit is like launched publicly. And I will go through the slides where we'll show this development of this toolkit. Yeah, so the first we started with a language called Gormati, which is spoken by a community, Banjara community in Maharashtra, India, and the first idea was like we spent time there in the community and understood that farming, it's an agrarian community, so there are farming practices which the youngsters are moving away from there. It's labor intensive, it's not that financially interesting also for the youngsters. But there is a lot of knowledge in the community about farming practices which the elders wants to kind of transfer to the younger generation, or they wanted to capture these ideas. So together with the community, we identified that as the particular use case around which a speech retrieval system can be enabled. So what we did was like a voice search system was created, where images shared by the community is annotated with speech data. And again, Gormati is also a language which is not commonly written. And so this annotated media with the voice recordings was used to train a language model, and then they could query this model, and then it could give out throughout the relevant images as search results. So our basic contribution, so many people have done this, and there are so many open source models also which can do the background model or training, or handle that pipeline. But what our contribution, our means like as I mentioned here, like a team from University of Edinburgh who are into NLP, team from Swansea University who are into human computer interaction are the people who are like developing it, and they are world leading researchers. So the NLP team at University of Edinburgh, their contribution was that the novelty of this project was that with very few hours of data, for example, we collected only around 4 hours of data, and with that itself, like we got a speech system that could give good results. So the approach here, as I mentioned, was like it's not like a hit and run research where we go to a community and then collect some data and then we publish some papers. So yeah, our approach is mostly towards like understanding the community, how and understanding the use case that could be useful for such technological intervention, and then an evaluation phase. And all this while we are kind of try to improve the toolkit and deploy this toolkit in an open source manner for other people who are interested to take forward and then improve it further. So I've, for the sake of time, I'll move a bit faster. So about testing the system in Banjara community. So a bit context about Banjaras, like they are a nomadic tribe. So they now lead a farming lifestyle with a distinct cultural identity and tend to keep to themselves. They speak Gormati, a language that shares characteristics with about 3,000 endangered languages spoken across the world. It has no written form, and there are no digital language resources. So the phase one was we trained them to annotate a set of community curated images in their language and left them with devices to do so over a period of several months. And phase two was to evaluate the system. We recruited 8 community members who had not contributed training data. Individually, we showed them each photo in the collection. Then they used the app to record a query that, in their view, should return that photo. We then logged the position at which the photo was actually returned. After experimenting with the system, community members were inspired and challenged us to adapt the system to allow them to find Banjara songs and other video contents. So about the data collection and the performance, so on the left, you can see examples of the photos that the community members selected, appropriate for their own context. And on the right, you can see a plot that shows how many seconds of audio community members recorded for each photo. You will notice that this plot is a bit skewed. That is because community members would typically start with the first photo in the collection and only rarely annotated up to the last photos. This is something we have been streamlining more recently. Community members created these recordings for about a month. And in total, we collected just under 4 hours of voice annotations, enough for us to train the voice system. So about the system trial, before I show you the plot that summarizes our evaluation results, I want to explain the structure of this plot. So the top ranking research result you will find down here. So the good search results, and that is the photo we are expecting to show up as was in fact as one of the first results. So whatever they are speaking, they are getting the correct photo out. So that will be showing in the good search result category. So up here, you'll see the instance where the system actually failed to match the query to correct photo. So the poor search result will come in the top. That is a photo we are expecting to see. One of the last results came first in the ranker. So this is the actual output that we got. So the blue line here was a target. Like, we wanted our system to perform in such a way that at least around like most of the times it should work, right? The color codes break down the system performance across each photos. But the overall distribution is more important, shows that we met our top 5 target metrics 74% of the time. So basically 74% of the time somebody put a query, the system gave the result in the top 5 ranks around 74% of the time. So this particular trial was success. Very little training data for 4 hour, around 4 hours of data, and it managed to rank the 29 images pretty reliably. So we then refined our approach. We want to repeat this with other low resource languages, but we were hoping to accelerate the process, because like the first stage of this project, with the community, with the Gormati community, kind of lasted for 1.5 years, like on and off. Like around the first phase of collection was around a month. Then there was a gap. Then we went there, built the system, and then evaluated, then iterated. So we wanted to shorten this timeline for us to kind of work with other languages. So again, then we kind of worked with an organization called, with an educational organization called NITI in Mangalore. We went to the Center for Tulu Studies there and worked with the team there to kind of work on language called Tulu. It's also a very less written script. Modern day Tulu literature is written using Kannada script, but it's spoken by 2 million people, and it is classified as vulnerable language by UNESCO Atlas of World Languages in Danger. And with the Tulu community, we wanted to kind of, as I mentioned, reduce the time required to kind of collect data, train data, evaluate, and then get feedback on speech retrieval use cases. So we just did a day-long workshop, and so this one was like tested with lab-based fonts rather than distributing fonts to the community or using community fonts. It was more of a evaluation of the toolkit. So the lessons learned from there was like participants were extremely engaged and wanted to showcase their language skills, often recording annotations that lasted 5 minutes or more. Like in the Banjara community, like it was the opposite case. Like people were giving short annotations, and but in Tulu workshop, like people were more like giving long annotations about the images, and which also created a problem for training. And in Mangalore itself, we traveled to a rural community about around 1.5 hours outside of Mangalore, to a small village speaking Koraga. The language is called Koraga. That is also generally not written, and definitely not by the community we engaged there. They never write the language. And we tweaked our approach and restricted the maximum length of annotations, and asking instead of users to make multiple annotations to make different points. So we observed in the Tulu workshop that people were annotating large amount of data for each image, and it was creating a problem for us to train. So we tweaked on the fly to kind of change the process of data collection to kind of improve the model performance. For example, if there's a picture of a pot, they could say something in Koraga like, this is a cooking pot and it's made of metal. This cooking pot is large enough to feed a whole family. We use the cooking pot to make this particular curry. So they can break up different annotations, speech segments, rather than giving it's a long 5-minute annotation on a picture. So again, the results are mixed, and then we did again learn from this approach what worked, what didn't work, and then we adapted the toolkit. Then we moved further south in Kerala, in Attapadi. There are few languages like Irula. We worked with a couple of communities there, Irula community and Muduga community. Here we tweaked our approach and restricted the maximum length of annotations, asking instead of users to make again smaller annotations. And yeah, again, we wanted to extend and see for ourselves how this work in languages which are central to what we are discussing today. So we visited Meghalaya this year, and worked with Khasi-Pnar community and War community to kind of collect and test some of this speech data around images and test this particular toolkit. Yeah, so if anybody is like really interested in how this works, how the model works, I will share a poster in the chat now, and where you can understand like how the model is created, how and what sort of training, like what goes in the engine of this in this toolkit. Because I am from an HCI research background, my focus is more towards how human beings can be involved in this process. Although I understand the technical know-how of running and training, but underneath, like the model that is created to run all these things is still of my knowledge level. So that is captured in this poster, which was presented in a well-reputed conference. So I'll share that for people who are engineers and who wants to kind of understand how this all works. So again, sharing lessons from the field. So the field work in challenging environments is unpredictable, so we must adapt, learn our approach to ensure we continue to engage the hard to reach communities that are often overlooked. This is vital to equitable and responsible AI remit we are aiming for. The approach that we took of creating a toolkit rather than a model that people could take and use is because like the context of all communities are different. It may not it may not work what works in another community. So having something like a toolkit which is like gives a base platform for somebody to kind of work on and improve and make it their own is we thought like could be a wonderful idea. So what's next? I think working with more communities and improving the search results, and also look at how this can be used, working with different partners, like for example NGOs and others who are in the field, who might require such toolkits to be adapted into their already existing technical pipeline. So if you are interested in understanding this about the toolkit, using it or tweaking it, you can see all the resources at unmute.tech /toolkit. And if you are interested in collaborations with me and my studio, Studio Hasi, you can write to me at daniel@studiohasi.com, or you can search on LinkedIn Dani Kalarikalayil Raju. You will find my profile. You can send me a direct message there. And if you are interested in working on your own language and then you need support with the toolkit, I can also facilitate that. So with that, I'd like to kind of conclude my initial presentation, and I would like to open for discussion and would love to hear your thoughts and ideas and questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Dani, for the session. So I'd like to call upon the participants. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. Okay, so I just have one question. So, how do you ensure ethical data collection, especially when it comes to these maybe rural or underrepresented communities, especially like with language and cultural data?
Yep. So that's why like one of the decisions that we took was to go in the idea of a toolkit. So toolkit is something like a base technical thing, and it's not coupled with somebody's data. So wherever we go, we work with community license, and with them we do the data collection, and then we leave the data with the community. So in that way, like, the data remains with the community at this, like, whichever community that we work. What happens to that data that is lying on their phone is another discussion, because they are not maybe technically capable at this point to kind of work further. But that's the model that we kind of evolved to work with the community, and have a data sovereignty built into what we do. So if I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir, you've answered my question. So, can you share an example where community participation changed the outcome of one of your projects?
Yep. So for example, in the early Gormati example, we engaged the community, and then the first group of people we worked with, they were more interested in farming practices. So capturing photos of farms or crops they grow, and then collect annotation data on those. But when we went to the community showing this voice search application built in collaboration with the community, uh, then we realized that people wanted something for some use this for entertainment. Many of the youth in the community was not that much interested in understanding the farming practices, and most of the annotations were data which are common knowledge. So they were not getting particular value out of a voice search interface like that. So then they asked us to, there are rich amount of songs in Gormati, which is sung for various occasions. For weddings, they have a collection of songs in the community. For Holi, for the Diwali. So these are all amazing songs, as previous speaker was mentioning. These are all cherished songs in the community. So they wanted this application to be tweaked into a kind of a repository of their songs. So then we worked with the community to kind of record songs by elders. So the community, like the community license or the people who are involved, moved around and collected videos from their grandmothers and grandparents singing some of these songs, and then they created this kind of song retrieval app, which is also act as a kind of a container for collecting all their cherished songs. So I would say that is an example of like how on the fly, coming with the community engagement, the use case also changed.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for that explanation. So I just have one more, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that some people, they don't even have smartphones or dumb phones for that matter.
Yeah.
So like apart from that hurdle, what other challenges do you face like when working on these projects? Like the one that you're currently working towards?
Yeah. So access to devices is a problem. Previously, 4 years back when we started this project, access to internet was a problem, because most of these rural communities didn't had access to strong 4G at that point. For example, when we visited the Gormati community, I still remember the initial days where I spent around 2 weeks in the community with I was struggling to make video calls back home. But in the course of time, 2 years into the project, there was a 4G net, like tower, geo tower, that was put near the community Tanda, and it was the fastest internet on the earth, because there were so less phones in the community, and it was really fast. And the third time we visited, there were like mostly all the elders, like the people who manage money, they had a smartphone. By the time we ended this project, almost all household, including women, had smartphones. So we saw that transition happening. The mobile phones came with the access to internet. When the access to internet was there, people were finding ways to make money to buy good smartphones. So access to smartphone is one, but thinking about reflecting about my last 10 years of research in this area, I think more than anything, the biggest barrier I felt was, like in psychology, people say self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is like how a person, our human being, is confident that given a challenge, I can solve this. So that's a very rough way of explaining self-efficacy, but you got my point, right? So it's about the confidence a person have to solve a challenge. So similarly, when you interact with the smartphone, people like you and me who are gone through a technical like a education process, who have undergone various exams, have inherent capability in our mind to kind of understand where we are at a point and how to come out of it, how to make use of the things that are shown in front. We know our brain have a mapping. So similar, that kind of mapping also have research shows that is there also. That plays a part when people interact with phones and computers also. For example, even though when for us, like YouTube application might seem very simple, you click on this, the phone, the video plays, and you can see the comments, then you can minimize the comments, then you can go out of the played window, then you can browse all the suggestions, and then you click on another. So when I say this, we all have done this multiple times, and for us it's inherently easy. But for a person who is not like literate, or a person who haven't gone through the schooling for multiple years, they might feel confused by this interface. At a single point of time where they are in the interface itself is a big challenge. So I would say, like one of the biggest challenge that I've seen across multiple communities is this, especially working with semi-literate users, is like their self-efficacy to navigate a user interface is still a challenge.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for that explanation once again. So, should we just wait for a few more minutes for
Yep.
any questions?
Yep. So people who have attended so far, like feel free to ask anything. Like I know some of you are in a very different domain, and maybe I have not done justice to kind of explain in detail, but there are no right or wrong questions or answers. So it's just us sharing thoughts. I've just now shared a poster that was presented in a conference about the working of this toolkit. So if somebody who wants to understand more about how the language model itself is made, this gives a wonderful example idea about like how it works under the hood.
Okay, so since most of the participants here are students mostly, so if they wanted to contribute to your project, like what exactly can they do? Like how can they do? How can they contribute to project?
So I'll share a link. So you can take a look at the the project link, which is called unmute.tech. In that there is something called toolkit. So if you are interested in, for example, for your college projects, working on creating speech interface for your own language, which may be Khasi-Pnar, which is not commonly written, and you have an interesting idea around search or some basic kind of a interface, this toolkit does pretty well to kind of give you that, what you can say, the engine behind that. So if anybody is interested who wants to kind of work on something for their own language, they can get all the resources from this website. And if you are technically capable to kind of understand many of it, I could also facilitate maybe working with you to kind of integrate some of these toolkits into your project. For me, the interest is like we have been traveling across India and then working with communities. So for me, it's a new community. It's a new challenges for which could improve this toolkit further. So I'm open to working with people, students, to kind of help with integrating this toolkit into their own projects.
I don't think there are any more questions.
Yep.
So would you like to end the session, or do you have like anything more to say?
Yeah, I think we had I understand, like I was also attending, like I have also attended many sessions where it's little off my area, and only thing is like like it understand bits and pieces of it, but this all will help us to kind of gather various understanding about people's ideas about various things, and which can help us. So what I would like to conclude on is like although I've mentioned this in earlier also, technology is not the only solution. Like some of the problems that we see in the community are not solvable through digital technologies. But language is an amazing uh, capability of human beings. And if we truly want to have a kind of an AI centric world, we we all should work towards kind of create systems where computers can understand us, and we can understand computers in a more natural way, which could make things accessible for everyone, which could make easy for everyone to work towards. And also, these are powerful tools, and we all should get hands to it, because we have seen in history that industrialization was not distributed evenly across the globe. And because of that, there are so many parts in the world which are highly developed, and still places like India, we were colonized because of so many disparity in this level. So again, this kind of cycle is happening again. AI is a powerful technology. We all must try to understand what it is, try to contribute, creating some of the system, and use in a wise way in our own daily practices. Yeah.
Since there are no more questions, so I think we should conclude the session. So thank you so much, Mr. Dani, for your time and for sharing with us like the work that you do. It's quite impactful, even though it was quite difficult for me as well to understand because it's very new. So, but now that I've understood it, I know that how important it is for AI and local communities to interconnect. So thank you once again to both of our speakers, Dr. Shell and Mr. Dani, and also to everyone who joined us today. So Northeast AI Talks is a continuing series, so please follow MWire Labs on LinkedIn and Instagram for updates on session 2. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.